Hi everybody, hope you're doing well. So, another video, more stuff with Pinephone. So, for some stupid reason, I thought because PLN, I'll call them, mentioned something called crust that was going to solve the battery problem. So I got the Pinephone back out and I checked for updates, and I'm fully updated. I got my SIM card in and the battery was fully charged, and I tried using it to do some texting, and it didn't go well. And it had nothing to do with the battery either. I'm commenting with somebody on the internet, on a chat on a website, and I asked them to text me to my phone, and so I'm waiting, and I said, can you text me? And they said, I did. And I'm waiting and waiting, and I said, I haven't got it yet. And they said, I sent it. So I thought, I don't know the person, so I was suspicious that they didn't send it. So I shut the Pinephone down. I fire up the Samsung, put my SIM card in it, waited a little, and still nothing. And then I picked up the Pinephone because I rebooted it by then, and then there it was. Suddenly it appeared, and the SIM card was out of it for a while now. So I don't know what there's some kind of delay there. Well, anyway, not what I was talking about. So the battery had 100% charge. 3 hours later, the phone was dead, and for the next 24 hours, I'm struggling to charge the phone back up to 100%, without having to keep it turned off all the time. So it just seems possible. So I'm puzzled as to why I get comments about, oh, I daily drive with it for a long time now, but I watch other videos where they say this is not ready for daily driving, it doesn't work, or they're just downright upset like I am that I was defrauded of my money by a promise of a Linux phone. And anyway, so it's this crust thing that's supposed to fix the battery. I've done some research on, and this is old news. This is nothing new. This is from May of last year. I read documents on developers working on it. So I'm not sure how it's going to fix my problem when it's been a problem. And this is the same old story with this one. It's been a problem for a long time. Text messages getting stuck. Batteries doesn't last long. And I have one guy who claims, oh, my battery lasts a long time. It doesn't mention how long it lasts for. But you can't use a phone if you can't keep it charged. And you can't use the phone if you have to keep it plugged in, and it still doesn't stay charged. You just can't do it. So anyway, I want to read you something. You guys know what snake oil is? Yeah, well, snake oil. Yeah, and there are salesmen that sell snake oil, right? Well, Pinephone is snake oil. I want to read you something from the Bureau of Consumer Protection from U.S. The Bureau of Consumer Protection stops unfair, deceptive, and fraudulent business practices by collecting reports from consumers and conducting investigations, suing companies and people that break the law, developing rules to maintain a fair marketplace, and educating consumers and businesses on their rights and responsibilities. And then the featured area of it is report fraud, fighting scams and fraud. As the nation's consumer protection agency, the FTC takes reports about scammers that cheat people out of money and businesses that don't make good on their promises. I want you to remember that quote carefully. Businesses that don't make good on their promises. We share these reports with our law enforcement partners and use them to investigate fraud and eliminate unfair business practices. Each year, the FTC also releases a report with information about the number of types of reports we receive. So that's a progress report. So over to Pinephone. The purpose of the Pinephone isn't only to deliver a functioning Linux phone to end users. So there's a mission statement. I've been promised a functioning Linux smartphone, but also to actively create a market for such a device. So you got to create a market for it too. You said you would. As well as to support existing and well-established Linux on phone projects. I assume that means to support the software, because this is what's puzzling me. How can you make that claim if the software is open source and you're not part of it? So well, but that says they are. So they're supposed to be supporting it. Anyway, so far I've been defrauded of a functioning Linux Pinephone because it doesn't work. It's unreliable, and the battery is the phone is drawing too much power. I don't know why, because the battery is a standard battery from a Samsung or something like that, and it seems like a decent enough battery. It certainly takes a while to charge it up, so it should take that amount of time to drain it down, you would think. But anyway, I'm not sure what's going on there. But let's continue. So I currently don't believe anyone who claims they're daily driving it and it works fine, using even only the basic functions and no applications, unless you got a super duper charger and you keep it plugged into your car the whole time. That's the only way I figure you could do it. So I don't believe that. Something else I've been doing too. I've been looking around the internet, and you look at all the videos for Pinephone, and again, this involves advertising and consumer protection. So we found out recently that the Pinephone software project, the Linux stuff, gets $10 every time they sold a Pinephone. So here's some of the videos I see about the Pinephone. This $200 phone can do anything. That's from a channel called Shortcut. The Pinephone, why this phone is important. Learn Linux TV. And why we need this phone. Pinephone Pro. I won't get into Pro. That's mixing the stuff. Yeah, I can't see it. Tech Hut. I don't see the video today. He had a picture of him, big smile on his face, like that. Trying to indicate what a great phone it was. And plus many more unboxing videos and how great the phone was. So clearly we had an organization that made a false promise, had the software community back it up when it wasn't true, and that's why the Consumer Protection Agency needs to be involved in this. So of course I got a Pinephone because of the marketing and the referrals from those who I find are in on it, because they're writing the software, and I'm not sure how any company can make a promise like that and not be in control of all the aspects of the product. So and I think they're in big trouble, because I'm seeing nothing but contradictions on this stuff. Stuff that hasn't worked from the beginning. The text messages getting stuck in the modem. The battery quality lower, or power consumption is too high. Whatever, I'm not sure what the problem there is. So I'm not sure what to call it, but it's inadequate to operate a phone in a timely basis. What else have I got? And I got all these Linux guys contradicting each other on whether it supports CDMA, whether it doesn't. I've had two different people say the opposite things to each other. So I'm starting to suspect nobody knows what's going on here. It's just a hodgepodge of people in a loose organization trying to create a product, and and as I said from the beginning, it's probably never going to work, because the manufacturer needs to have control of all that stuff, and clearly they don't, and clearly they can't, and unless they hire them and make them employees and run the show. So I think the Pinephone is the promise to put a Linux phone in my hands and market it and all those other great things is a lie. How could anyone do that and not control all the aspects of the phone? It can't be done. So I'm going to be filing many reports with many, and because this is an international problem, it'll have to probably be done in multiple countries, and we're going to see what's going to happen here. But I'm not going to give up. And when I see a credit on my credit card for the refund of that Pinephone, I'll stop. But until then, I'm going to persist. And then we're going to talk about some other things today too. While I'm looking for videos, I see other videos about Linux. Why has it gotten so bad? Why does the desktop environment suck? What happened to Ubuntu? So apparently there's a bigger problem with the Linux crowd. It's not just Pinephone. It's I had one video. One guy commented that the problem is that the Linux developers are arrogant, and I get that impression myself too, because I get comments like buy a flip phone, buy an Apple, like I don't need that crap from you. I just need you to meet the mission statement that you have on the website, and fulfill your promise to me, and stop giving me excuses on why you can't. Either say you can't and refund me my money, or deliver on the promises that you made to me. And I'm not going to read it again. I'm getting tired of reading it. I don't care about what it says in the ordering page about beta. It doesn't matter. You made me a promise, and I expect it to be fulfilled. Beta can't last forever. You can't hide behind beta forever. You can't. Eventually, at some point, you gotta surrender or produce the product, and I'll be waiting for that day to come. Yeah, I guess that's it for now. So, not an exciting video, but necessary. Thanks for watching, everyone. Oh, Sparky's sleeping right now, but he still is not going to be buying a Pinephone or a Pinephone Pro. Even though the Pro, they reduced the promise quite a bit from the Pinephone. That's going to help in my case, because they're not making the same promises last time. Not going to be putting a Pinephone Pro in my hand and marketing it and all that crap. It's going to be many years. It's going to take a long time. I think it's also going to be never. Both phones never going to go anywhere. They'll end up in the electronic recycling bin before it ever becomes mainstream. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.